Well, Edmonton's pretty cold.
I'd say Calgary.
My mustache, it just keeps getting frozen.
Well, I lived in Vancouver last year, and they do not know how to function with snow. But this is worse.
Snow in Vancouver, bitter cold in Calgary, freezing rain in Ontario. As winter weather settles across the country, many are taking to social media to claim they're having the worst winter ever. But who really wins the medal for the most miserable this week?
There's a lot of misery to go around.
According to Twitter Canada, 20% of cold mentions in the last 3 days has been from Edmonton, which isn't a surprise given it's deemed the coldest place on the planet this week. But when it comes to snow, well, that goes to Vancouver. 35% of tweets mentioning snow came from Vancouverites dealing with what some have dubbed Snowmageddon 2020. So who's really had the worst Canadian winter this week?
I would give the gold medal for weather misery to Vancouver.
The senior climatologist from Environment Canada acknowledges Alberta is in a deep freeze, 2 times colder than normal this time of year, but stresses it's only a cold warning. Vancouver, on the other hand.
I mean, they've had in the last 4 or 5 days, they've had temperatures that are about 12 degrees colder than normal. I mean, that doesn't compare to your 25 degrees colder than normal, but they're not used to it.
He goes on to say that Vancouver and area have been dealing with snow warnings, snowstorm warnings, wind warnings, and blowing snow warnings.
And then when all of that, when it warms up, they're going to get huge amounts of rain, you say, on top of all that snow.
While it's all subjective, Philip says this week it's Western Canada who's got the brunt of the rough winter. But he also says there's a silver lining.
There's more winter behind us than ahead of us. Now, hey, ahead could be worse than the first half, but at least statistically, we've reached the halfway point.
There's some hope for people here in Calgary. There's a Chinook that's expected to roll in and bring some warmer temperatures next week. They're trying to stay warm here in Calgary. I'm Jackie Perez, City News.